Imagine waking up to find out that the most anticipated electric car of the decade, the one that could completely reshape global mobility, finally has an official debut date. It's no longer a rumor, a guess, or a wild forum theory. Internal Tesla documents, yes, leaked straight from the company's core, have ended the mystery. The Model 2 will be revealed to the world on September 30th, 2025. And the most intriguing part? The first deliveries are scheduled to begin as early as the following April, more precisely on the 12th, starting in California. That alone would be enough to thrill any tech enthusiast. But there's more behind the story. The biggest surprise wasn't the date itself, but the fact that it directly contradicts what Elon Musk had previously said in public. In past statements, the CEO pointed to late 2026 or even 2027 for initial deliveries. So what changed since then? Or better yet, what is Tesla hiding that justifies this sudden acceleration? The answer, it seems, lies in the mounting pressure the automaker has been facing from both the market and its competitors. And maybe there's also a bolder strategic move at play than it appears at first glance. This early move has sent shockwaves through the entire industry. Because if Tesla manages to stick to this timeline, and that's still a big if, it could outpace everyone else in a segment that's about to explode, truly affordable electric vehicles. The Model 2 isn't just another product launch. In the eyes of many analysts, it's the car that will put a Tesla in the garages of millions around the world. And in that sense, the date announcement is just the tip of the iceberg. What's even more curious is how this revelation came to light. Not through a flashy press conference with fireworks and Musk on stage, but through internal documents that leaked quietly. That raises suspicion that Tesla is trying to control the narrative with more caution than usual. Maybe out of fear of delays. Maybe to avoid raising expectations too early. Or perhaps to take the market by surprise in a more surgical way. Like someone who sneaks in and dominates the scene before anyone notices. Either way, the important thing now is that the date exists, and that changes everything. With September 30th, 2025 now on the radar, investors, fans, and competitors will have their eyes glued to Tesla over the coming months. That means any movement at gigafactories, any updates to public records, or even subtle tweaks on the company's website could make headlines. The countdown has begun, and for the first time, the Model 2 has gone from an abstract idea to something very real. Now imagine the race against time inside Tesla. Every engineer, designer, technician, and assembly worker involved in this mission has less than a year and a half to deliver. And considering the complexity behind a project like this, it's no exaggeration to say that every second will count, especially knowing that any mistake or new delay could cost billions. And the trust of a legion of fans betting on the Model 2 as the ultimate revolution in mobility. With the official debut date set for the Model 2, what follows is a true logistical ballet that shows just how much thought Tesla has put into every detail. The global rollout of the new model won't happen randomly or all at once. On the contrary, it's been meticulously planned, almost like a world tour by a rock star. The first wave of deliveries happens in the United States, starting in April 2026, with an initial focus on California. From there, the expansion moves through strategic regions on a tightly coordinated schedule. Just the first batch includes around 1,850 vehicles sent to delivery centers in Fremont and 6 other Southern California locations. Next, the Pacific Northwest gets 750 units by the end of April, and soon after, the Mountain States start receiving 1,200 Model 2s for May 10th. That already shows Tesla's confidence in its production and logistics capabilities, because this isn't just about launching a car. It's about getting it on the road fast. Still in the US, the Central States enter the schedule at the end of May, with 1,500 vehicles released, while the East Coast, with its innovation-hungry metros, starts receiving the Model 2 on June 7th, with an impressive initial allocation of 2,800 units. The numbers are huge, but what stands out even more is the precision of the dates. Tesla is promising to deliver thousands of cars per week, and by July 2026, it expects to hit an average of 4,200 weekly deliveries in the US alone. But it doesn't stop there. The European launch is set for July 8th, 2026, with production at Giga Berlin. And here, the pace is even more ambitious. The European assembly line will operate with a 72-hour turnaround from completion to delivery, an almost unheard-of time frame in the automotive industry. Germany will be the first country to receive vehicles, followed by Norway and the UK on July 22nd. France, the Netherlands, and Spain join the map starting August 10th. Interestingly, Tesla didn't just adjust its production for this expansion. It also acquired an additional 280 acres around Giga Berlin. Officially, no one confirmed it's for factory expansion. But let's be honest, nobody buys hundreds of acres in rural Germany without a very specific plan. This suggests that the projected production and delivery volume for Europe is going to be much higher than any analyst previously anticipated. And what about Asia? Well, China now has a confirmed timeline. Production at Giga Shanghai begins September 25th, 2026, with deliveries starting on October 8th. The factory is gearing up to operate at full speed, with capacity reaching up to 5,200 units per week. And here's the key detail. 82% of that output will go straight to the Chinese domestic market, at least during the first quarter. That's more than just a business strategy. It's a direct response to BYD and the launch of the Seagull, which threatens to shake the global market with a price tag under $12,000. With the debut locked in and the global delivery map laid out, the next shot came with a price: $13,797. That's right, a brand new Tesla for under $14,000. When this information hit the internet, many thought it was a joke, or at least a clever marketing move. But leaked internal documents and detailed production strategies suggest that this price target is real. And more than that, it's essential to Tesla's plan to dominate the entry-level EV market. If achieved, it will be hard for any competitor to keep up with this wave. This number completely changes the equation for those who always saw Tesla cars as out of reach. Until now, even the brand's most affordable models were beyond the financial reality of much of the global population. But with the Model 2, Elon Musk wants to fulfill a promise made years ago: a truly accessible electric car for the masses. And we're not just talking about a low price, but a full package with AI, respectable range, and the Tesla name. It's almost like the most powerful budget iPhone is about to roll out on wheels. The aggressive pricing is also a direct response to the competition. BYD, for example, is already shaking up the market with the Seagull, a compact EV priced under $12,000 that's poised to become a sensation, especially in emerging markets. And Tesla knows it. That's why the Model 2 enters the scene with a price that strikes first. Not just to be another option, but to dominate the space before rivals can spread too far. The idea is simple: go in hard, grab market share, and leave the others playing catch-up. There's also a critical detail that adds urgency to this move: the $7,500 EV tax credit offered in the United States. This incentive is set to expire or be reduced after 2025, and that changes everything. If the Model 2 begins deliveries before that deadline, as the plan suggests, many buyers could end up paying just over $6,000. A Tesla for that price? That's not just competitive, it's revolutionary. Of course, to maintain this pricing, Tesla will need to cut costs in areas that other automakers wouldn't dare touch. But that doesn't mean a stripped-down car. Quite the opposite. The company aims to deliver a high-tech vehicle that's been optimized in every detail, from assembly to finish. And this delicate balance between cost and perceived value is where Tesla is betting big. The Model 2 doesn't have to be the best car in the world. It just needs to be good enough to be cheap and deliver more than expected. Another key factor is the confidence Elon Musk places in this model. In various public statements, he's made it clear that the key to a global EV transition lies in scaling the production of affordable electric cars. The Model 2, in that sense, is more than a product. It's a symbol of Tesla's master plan, Phase 3, the moment when anyone, anywhere in the world, can finally drive an electric vehicle. And that carries enormous emotional weight. To make that prize possible and still deliver a real Tesla, the company had to reinvent the very concept of car manufacturing. That's where the so-called Unboxed production system comes in, a term that might sound like just another marketing buzzword at first, but in reality, it marks a radical shift. Instead of building the car in a linear fashion with dozens of consecutive workstations, Tesla developed a method where entire sections of the car are built separately and then joined together as modules. This changes everything: time, cost, and complexity. This new approach cuts the number of assembly stations in half compared to what's currently used for the Model 3. And here's the most impressive part. This isn't just surface-level cost cutting. It's a deep, almost surgical reorganization. With the Unboxed system, the car isn't assembled like a traditional puzzle, but is independent modules that fit together perfectly at the end. It reduces production time, factory space requirements, and even the number of workers needed per vehicle. But the real breakthrough behind this advancement isn't just in the workflow. It's also in what Tesla calls gigacasting. Instead of building the car's frame out of hundreds of welded metal parts, the Model 2 will use large aluminum castings made in massive machines. And it's no exaggeration to say massive. Tesla's gigapresses are the size of a small house. Thanks to this technology, structural parts that used to require 370 individual components can now be made with just 8 major castings. And this isn't just nice on paper. In practice, it means the total time to build a Model 2 could drop to a jaw-dropping 9.4 hours per unit. For comparison, many conventional EVs still take more than 25 hours to roll off the production line. This time and labor savings don't just help reduce the final price. They also unlock the scale needed to meet the demands of millions of buyers across dozens of countries. What's even more fascinating is that this transformation is happening far from the spotlight. Most of the engineering behind it is being tested at a highly secretive facility in Nevada, where Tesla is fine-tuning every step of the process. They are away from public eyes. The machines are being calibrated to ensure Model 2 production is not only faster, but also more reliable, with fewer errors and less waste. It's like tuning an instrument designed to perform for billions of people. All this revolution on the assembly line would have limited impact if it weren't paired with an equally impressive evolution in the most critical part of any electric car, the battery. And this is where Tesla takes yet another step ahead. In the Model 2, the battery won't just be a component. It will be part of the car's very structure. Literally integrated into the chassis, the structural battery allows for a 12% reduction in total vehicle weight while improving rigidity by 18%. This combination means more range, better handling, and enhanced safety, all using less material. This type of integration isn't new in theory, but very few companies have managed to pull it off in practice. Tesla, on the other hand, seems to have nailed it. By making the battery part of the car skeleton, the company eliminates extra supports, bolts, plates, and other elements that were previously needed to hold up something that is now structural. This makes the car lighter without sacrificing strength. In an electric vehicle, lighter always translates to better range, stronger performance, and greater charging efficiency. And if that weren't enough, Tesla will also implement a brand new paint technology on the Model 2. It might seem like a small detail, but this process reduces paint time by up to 40% while increasing durability by 25%. In simpler terms, less time on the assembly line and less risk of early corrosion or wear. This also helps keep the car's costs low without compromising on aesthetics or long-term resistance to weather and daily use. With less weight and a sturdier frame, the Model 2 is expected to outperform other entry-level EVs in its class. Acceleration improves, energy consumption drops, and the driving experience becomes more stable, especially on curves or uneven roads. This shows that Tesla isn't just building a cheap car. They're creating something that could set the benchmark for its price range, even in terms of comfort and safety. And since we're talking about invisible innovation, it's worth highlighting the production efficiency this architecture offers. Fewer moving parts and fewer welds mean fewer potential errors and less time to complete each unit. This fits perfectly with the goal of delivering tens of thousands of vehicles per month without compromising quality. Tesla knows it can't afford to release an affordable car that becomes a meme online due to silly defects. That's why every step of this structure has been designed to last. If the car structure is impressive, the brain behind the Model 2 is even more so. Tesla decided to equip the new model with the most advanced vehicle AI available. Hardware 4.0, a processing system capable of performing 250 trillion operations per second. That's nearly double the power of the current FSD, full self-driving system. But the most amazing part isn't just the raw number. It's that this performance comes with astonishing energy efficiency, 70% less power consumption per operation. In other words, more intelligence, using less energy. This new hardware is what enables the Model 2 to feature technologies that, until now, were only found in Tesla's more expensive models. The system will include 12 high-resolution cameras, redesigned ultrasonic sensors, and a fan favorite, the return of the front radar. This combination creates a smart, layer detection network around the car, allowing for precise environmental awareness, even in challenging conditions like fog, heavy rain, or dense traffic. In addition, the Model 2 will feature something that might seem small, but is actually a huge technical leap: the shift from a 12-volt electrical system to 48 volts. This drastically reduces wiring weight and simplifies the vehicle's internal layout. The result? A lighter, more efficient car that's easier to assemble. This change alone cuts about 15 kilograms in wires and components, enough to improve range and boost performance. It's one of those invisible changes that make a massive difference. Another brilliant touch is the predictive regenerative braking system, which uses AI to analyze road topography, traffic, and even the driver's habits. This tech optimizes energy recovery while driving, which can add an astonishing 85 extra miles per charge. That's a huge leap, especially for a car designed to be efficient and accessible. In real life, it means more time driving and less time plugged in, the kind of benefit that wins over even the most skeptical drivers. And to top it all off, all this intelligence is managed by a new central controller that replaces over 25 separate ECUs with just 5. This reduces the chances of failure, simplifies remote updates, and makes maintenance much easier. Everything was engineered to be lean, lightweight, and practical. And here's a personal take. It's amazing to see a car maker thinking so deeply about improving the experience without increasing costs. That's the kind of innovation only possible when a company truly masters both software and hardware. But none of this would make sense if the car wasn't ready to drive freely across every corner of the map. And that's exactly where infrastructure comes into play. After all, it's no use selling a $13,797 Tesla if the owner is stuck hunting for a charging station. With that in mind, Tesla has laid out a true global expansion plan, focused entirely on supporting the Model 2. A total of 320 new V4 supercharger stations are planned, all scheduled to go live exactly 2 weeks before the first deliveries in each region. That's no coincidence, it's strategy. These new chargers aren't just any stations. The V4 versions bring more power, broader compatibility, and a faster, smoother charging experience. They're designed specifically for Tesla's new generation of vehicles, including the Model 2. With them, waiting times shrink and charging happens in minutes. It's the kind of convenience that turns the electric car into a viable option even for people with the busiest routines. And the good news? Many of these sites already have approved permits in both the United States and Europe. Beyond chargers, Tesla is also consolidating its supply chain like never before. To ensure large-scale global production, the company has acquired lithium mining rights and secured long-term contracts with essential mineral suppliers like nickel and graphite. This move ensures that even with the high demand expected for the Model 2, there won't be a shortage of raw materials. And more than that, it prevents competitors from getting to these strategic resources first. This proactive stance is also visible in Tesla's recent land acquisitions. That mysterious expansion around Giga Berlin, for example, now makes perfect sense. The 280 acres purchased next to the factory are expected to become a logistics hub for European distribution, something essential to meet the promise of thousands of vehicles delivered weekly across the continent. And if we turn to China, Giga Shanghai is also gearing up to operate at full speed starting in September 2026, especially to supply the domestic market with more than 5,200 units per week. What's truly impressive in all of this is the foresight. While other automakers are still sketching out their strategies, Tesla already has everything mapped: timelines, contracts, land, and even charging infrastructure all lined up. This shows that the Model 2 wasn't designed as a standalone product. It's part of a much larger ecosystem where everything, absolutely everything, revolves around efficiency and scale. And that includes every moment from the time the car leaves the factory to the moment the driver plugs it in.